Bethel Church. It's so good for our Bethel Baja team to be back and together. We all went to Baja, Mexico this last June, and were able to serve a family there that was in need of a home, and we built it from scratch all the way to a complete home together. Many of us had no experience building a home, so to be able to go and see a miracle built with the hands and feet of our team was a miracle in itself. And then to see the family be blessed after the fact was just the most rewarding thing I think we can all agree with. So we have our team here, and we wanted to share our experience with you. And we have a few questions here lined up, and we'll go from there. Cool. Well, team, we'll shoot it to you, and here we have a few people that would like to share with this first question. Why did you spend your own time and money to serve people you don't know who are in desperate need?
So my name is Debbie, and I went to a service in March, and Pastor Jeff, who serves for the Baja, the missionary, came, and he was talking about this lady named Rosalia and her 6 kids and all the abuse she had went through, and how they've actually helped rescue her and get her all settled, and her kids are all in a safe place. And during the service, I kept crying the whole time, and I told my husband, I want to go.
Wow.
And he's just like, go. I'm like, we don't have the money to go. He's like, then pray about it.
Wow.
We get home from church. We have an apartment. We unlock the mailbox. There's a check for $500 sitting in our mailbox. And I was just like, I'm going to Mexico.
Oh my God! You didn't tell me that story.
I
know. Wow! And your heart was immediately, no, this is for Mexico.
The whole time I was watching Rosalie and her kids thing, I just kept crying, and I'm like, I've always wanted to go, but I'm gonna go.
Wow!
Before I get too old and just can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't know how to hammer anything, but I'm gonna just give it a try.
Wow, that's amazing! Yay! Oh, Kenneth.
Hi, my name is Ken Moline, and I want to point out a few things in the question. First of all, it says you spend your own. Why did you decide to spend your own time and money? And I want to focus on those 2 words. Time and money are not ours. They're a gift from God, and all we do is give them back to God as the caretaker of those elements of our lives. The second part is go to serve people you don't know. Well, Matthew chapter 28 says, go into the world and preach the gospel to every creature. These are all people that we don't know. So we have a vast mission field, and we were only able to get to know a small portion of that mission field. There are many other lost souls out there that when we have an opportunity to minister, I hope we will do it.
Wow, amen. And is this your first missions trip, or have you been on several? First?
I went on a missions trip in 1975 to Juneau, Alaska, where a church group got together and we poured the foundation for an orphanage building up there.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Anyone else? First missions trip?
First of its kind.
First of its kind. Why go? Why was this the one that you decided to go to?
Well, I mean, first of all, I've always have a heart for, people around the world in terms of humanitarian, and I've been giving money and I've been contributing. But the opportunity to go see them face to face, make a house full of love, compassion, covered in prayer, hands-on, a gift from the heart to the people that I love, and just to see those beautiful faces and that compassionate gift is an extra level of giving that I wanted to do. And I also wanted to share with my son and teach my son about generosity, about compassion, about love, and also to make sure that we're not taking for granted. It's so easy in the States to take for granted running water, garbage disposal, electricity, all those things. But in reality, a lot of the world doesn't have that. And so the more our hearts are open to give, I hope that will just fuel the next generation.
Wow. Amen. Yeah, that was, for me, that was huge coming back. That was the kicker. Exactly what you're saying. This all looks different now. Yes. It's not the same. I see San Jose, but it's not the same San Jose that I left. I am so privileged, but yet it was so rewarding to be over there. So yes. Did you want to share anything? Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Karen. So the question was, why would you spend your time and money on going to this trip?
Yeah.
When I heard about the trip about a year ago, I said, oh, we're going to Baja? I'm signing up. So I kept checking to see, when can I sign up? So it was always a desire to go, even years ago. But I think that was more of the youth group, and I'm not the youth.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm probably too old. And now I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm too old for this trip. So it was a good thing to sign up for this.
Yeah.
And missions has always been part of the church,
Yeah.
always part of Assemblies of God. Do what you can. And, if you can't go on a trip, at least give money to the missionaries that can make a difference in people's lives. So, and the price wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
I was like, wow, we get the flight, we get everything. And it's like, oh, I can afford that.
Yeah.
Because I always have money set aside for trips.
Yeah.
Just in case.
That's good. For those that don't know, most missions trips round from, I don't know, 1,500 and up. This one in particular was 750. So that is, and yeah, they were great missionaries.
Right.
What one thing impacted you the most on this missions trip? What one thing impacted you the most?
There's so many.
Yeah. You want?
I guess it's, my name is Damaris, or Didi for short, and it's my son Ben. But really, it was the need, really seeing, so that when you're giving out groceries and you're really seeing that the impact, especially the people in the neighborhood that are coming up to you, and those eyes and those faces, like how much of a big deal this bag of groceries. And you feel like, I only had 5 bags, I want to bring 500.
Yeah.
That need was, and seeing it in their eyes, that really was a big deal for me.
Wow, that's good.
Wow.
You want to share?
Still expect. Going off what she was saying, so we had the opportunity to take vans on one of the last days after we built the house and go to a neighborhood, or it was after working on the house that we were building, and we got to go to a neighborhood and get out of the vans and hand out essential groceries like staple foods and the Book of Life, is that what they call it? Little Bibles. And we kind of paired off. Some of the people in our group could speak a little bit of English. Some of us don't speak a word. We speak a word. Spanish, sorry. Spanish, thank you. So
You were out there, though.
Just
You were hugging,
I
and
didn't
you were
even
just...
care. That was the thing. So I got paired up with a couple people. So I love Gabriel.
Yeah.
And he is such a great translator. I wish he was here today.
Yeah.
And I would pray a mile a minute, and he would speak a mile a minute for me. But then this one particular, me and Jasmine went, she's 20, and she knows some Spanish, but not fluently.
Right.
And we just said, well, we have one bag left. We're going to have to go and walk in. I said, let's just feel led by God to this neighborhood and not just follow everyone else that was just going down the road. So we started going, and then we turned, and we ended up coming across this lady and her little girl. And we walked up and gave her our very last bag of groceries and Bible. And Jasmine was able to ask her, is there anything you'd like us to pray with you about? And she said, yeah, I have 10 children, and my husband is crippled, and he can't work, and it's really hard to make ends meet. And this little bag, to us, it's so small, a grocery bag. To her, it was absolutely everything. Like, it meant so much. So I said, is it okay if we give you a hug and pray over you? And she said yes. And Jasmine looked at me and goes, I don't speak Spanish that good to say a prayer. And I said, well, just tell her I'm going to just say it in English. And as we're hugging her and I'm praying in English with no translation, the tears are just coming down all of our faces. Even the lady, she doesn't understand what I'm saying, but she understands that, God's showing up. Like, he's saying, I hear your prayers, and here's some food. And these people from another country actually love you and care about you. Wish I do, and I totally would go back again.
Oh, give me that tissue.
Needed the tissues. Thank you.
Oh, I'll try to compose myself, people. I thought you guys were going to say my driving, but no, I guess not.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
Okay, we all had to ride in vans.
Yeah.
Mark was the driver.
Yes.
She's the driver.
Yes.
And I'm her co-pilot
Yes.
in the front seat. And there's this, when you're going up to where we're staying at, there's this one last hill. And it was just, it's the bumpiest dirt road.
What did we keep singing the whole time?
I got my phone out and we're playing the Indiana
Yeah.
Jones ride. Like we're going on the adventure at Disneyland
Yeah.
because it was just rocking and bumping and it was so much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you guys do that in your van? Oh, good.
I'm going to get a word in here before I get cut off again. I was impressed with the level of sharing and the way we worked together. From the very first, Sam asked us to pray, and we prayed for a degree of compassion and understanding for each other, and a degree of cooperation that we would not have expected going into it. And that's what did occur. I mean, we had one generator, we had several power tools, we had to keep switching the lines and switching the tools so that the one that had the greatest need got to use the power from the generator, and we got the work done. And it was a very cooperative effort that I saw come together.
Yeah, it really was, to watch everyone pick up, the large boards together, the walls, and pick them up together. And maybe there were things we didn't understand. Other people would come in and teach. I learned how to hammer thanks to Kenneth, all right? I was bending that thing, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. You take care of it. You have it. He goes, no, we're going to do this together. You're going to do it. And by the end of the trip, I was hammering everything. That was probably my favorite moment. Oh, man, that's good.
I think the same thing was true with Jasmine. She learned to hammer, and Karen helped out a lot. The three of us put all the windows in.
Wow.
And the trim. So
it's just wonderful to see 3 generations working together, teenagers, moms and dads, grandparents, working together on the site, off the site, collaborating. And really, you're trying to also mentor the next generation. So it's just
that's really good.
Opportunity.
It was beautiful to watch.
I think I gained a reputation.
Uh-oh.
Well, yeah. 2 reputations. One was I was called the old guy, which I represent, and the other one was the hammer man.
Yeah.
Get the hammer man. And they were well deserved. I did a lot of teaching of the young people how to hammer a nail straight on the head so it would go in and not bend. Noelia knows that. And all I can say, I'm going to interject something that's kind of funny, my Swedish humor. But, there's a saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Mm-hmm. Well, I have a corollary to that. You can't keep an old dog from teaching the young dogs the tricks that he already knows.
There we go. So you just continue the cycle. You just Why should Jesus followers go on a missions trip and give to missions? Why should Jesus followers go on a missions trip and give to missions?
I'm Mark. I'll try. Like Ken said, we've been told we've been told in the Bible that to go out to all the world, and we try our best to do it at our homes, in our neighborhoods, and out within our mile radius of our church. This is an opportunity for everyday people to actually go to the mission field in another country, where you don't get to see poverty like that if you're sitting here at home. That's a life changer to see that. And the people are just living their lives. Yes, they're poor. They're poor beyond our imagination, but they're just like us. They're trying to get through every single day, and it's really it's amazing to see it, and it's amazing just to do a little baby something to make their life a little bit better.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Karen? Oh.
It's instructed in the Bible that we should go on missions trips. We should go to all nations and speak the good word of Christ to others, whether it's in our neighborhood, whether it's in another country. And we are to be the hands and feet of Jesus, because we could impact them. And you could do it by yourself, but you have such a bigger impact with a group of people. In our group was 25. When we met down there's other churches. There was 100 people building, I believe it was 4 houses that week.
Yeah.
And so we had a bigger impact in helping more families. And so we are to love and serve those people in our path.
Yeah.
So, and that was during the whole trip, whether we're at the gas station or at Jack in the Box or, at the Senguda or or getting the torta.
Yeah.
So
you guys with Jack in the Box? What? That's really good.
So my name's Richard. Another thing was what Dee Dee sort of mentioned, as an older gentleman, I need to be an example for the younger people. And by me going, I hope I am an example for them, what they should do, and Jesus is our example, and he asked me to be an example for the other generations. And so that's what I think is one of the important things for me to go.
Yeah, this is Nam, and of course the Bible says we need to deliver Messiah's message to New Frontier. But based on my personal experience, growing up in Korea, 1960, so the Korean War stopped 1953. So how does a church boom in Korea started? Actually, this type of job, they did it. So now it's booming. So we do something, whether they are believers or not, they're going to be impacted. And some of them will grow. The community will grow. So that way we should go again and again.
Yeah, it was incredible to watch. Karen, you mentioned it, being the hands and feet of Jesus, and it was cool to be a part of an experience where we're all worshiping, as one team, as one body, and being the church going out there and just worshiping, because that's what that was. We're honoring God. This is exactly what Jesus would do. He would go out and aim towards those that were, rejected or not seen at all, right? So we went out and they were seen, right? And I know a lot of you had conversations with the family, interacted with them. I remember Frank, the kid, the young teen, when he asked me, and I don't know if he spoke to if he said more to you guys. I know he asked me, "Are you guys coming back?" Which was, it's not very often that we go back, but we placed a bit of love in that family's heart. Or he asked, "Why are you here? Why are you doing this?" So, or I don't know if you guys have stories like that to share too, of anyone that came to you and asked as well. I'd love to hear if that was the case. So, yeah. That's a good point. I
have a comment here, Noelia, and that is that the impact that we made, we went out and we blessed one family.
Yeah.
But it's like throwing a stone into a lake. There's a big splash right at the start, but then the waves from that stone emanate outward. And so from that one family that saw our love expressed to them, others could see that we gave up of our time and money to come and work for them. And there was hope for them as well, as they may have expectations of hopefully having a home of their own as well.
Yeah.
I'm Teresa, and I think what didn't impact me? The whole trip impacted me. But seeing the bonds that were formed between us, all of us, and the family, but especially the youth, right? So you have our youth who can't speak Spanish. We had one that could. And we have two children, right? A 3-year-old, a 13-year-old, that only speak Spanish. But it was amazing how they communicated. And they formed bonds, and they hugged, and you could see the love. It was just incredible. So, and the only thing I can say about the missions trip is I have no idea why I waited till I was 57 to go on my first trip, but I assure you there will be more trips.
Yeah.
And so I just regret I didn't start sooner.
Wow.
So
that's powerful.
And I told you I wasn't going to talk, but I did.
So the Lord just said, "You need to point out Teresa." Barbara, do you want to share? No. That's awesome. Yeah. What would you tell someone that's hesitant? I love that what you just said, Teresa. But what would you tell someone that's like on the edge? We'll go with Debbie, and then we'll go to Dee.
So it's easy to watch the missionaries come to church and show a slideshow and show photos and talk about their stories and take up a donation. You go home, eat lunch, and you don't think about it again. But just to like get off your seat and just go, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
It's just so wonderful. I can't even put it into words. You're going to be dirty. You're going to be tired, but you make a lot of new friends.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful. And just showing up and letting, like he was saying, it's like a stone. When we show up and we bless this one house and this family, the rest of the neighbors are seeing it and they're like, wow, that church group just came to bless this family. You know, it just gives them hope that God is listening to them.
Wow. That's good. Dee?
Yes, my name's Dee Dee, and I just I understand when I read the Bible it says to get out of your comfort zone, and so this really was out of our comfort zone. Definitely. It's a whole new place, and I was honored to, even with the struggles, even with the challenges, to keep on persevering and working together, and we help each other through the challenges. So that big community coming together and just like we're ministering to each other and we're definitely ministering to the family, and to be able to share that love is a big deal.
Amen. Yes. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Oh, Nam, yes, please.
Yes. I'm kind of new to this church, So through the mission church, I can know many people and friends.
Before you share, how long have you been coming to Bethel?
I think it's sometime in spring, I guess, this
Spring.
year.
So not even a year.
No, so it's a really good chance to jump into church.
Yes, you did.
So I really highly recommend do mission trip. Then you're not going to be isolated.
Yeah.
Just go to church and either online or physically, and then just another week start, and then Sunday comes, so you go to church again. It's kind of a routine that when you isolated from church community, but you jump in, so that way you'll be part of the church members. So it is really, it's good. And the reason I didn't bring my shirts, I already packed everything for next year trip.
There we, yes. Yes. That's awesome. It definitely impacted me. I was sharing with you guys earlier, but I've been a Christian for 8 years, I would say, and missions, like Debbie said, you hear the missionaries come and you think, someday I'll go, or, oh, that's a nice thing to do, or I don't have the money right now. And when you really are in it, God makes a way, right? And so going, just from the moment we stepped onto Mexico, it was revolutionary. And coming back and seeing the city that we live in a completely different lens, I literally got home, opened the door, and I'm bawling. And I'm sitting, my husband is looking at me, he goes, what's wrong? What's going on? Why are you crying? I'm like ugly crying. Like, and I go and I sit down, and I'm like this. And I go to Brian, I go, I don't know what I just went through. I feel like crying right now. And I was like, we have it so good. And they also have it spiritually really good. It's that conversation when I had with the family. I go, what do you do for fun? And they're like, we go to church. And I go, no, like outside of Sundays. Like, what do you do outside of Sundays? They go, we go to church. We go to church Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm like, you walk 2 hours to go to church because it's fun. It's just, it really got my heart into, oh, we don't know God the way they know God, And it was just life-changing. But yeah, I will say I'll never hesitate to try to go to a missions trip, probably for the rest of my life. So, as Nam said, unless someone else has something else to share before we close.
I was just going to share.
Yeah, please.
So this is Karen. If you're on the edge of trying to decide whether to go on a missions trip or not, do it. Sign up, get the money, sell things to raise money if you have to. If you're thinking like, I have no skills in building a house, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
You will learn.
Yep.
There's something for you. I kept saying, I could paint.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's always going to be something that you could do. And we're serving the people that live there. We're serving the organization, You Reach Global. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
And you'll have the time of your life.
Yeah, that's good. And maybe not all, for those watching, not all missions trips will be building a house, but it's the openness, like Karen is saying. I'm going to just serve, regardless of what it is. We might just be going to serve people or build a home or create relationships, and whatever else the missionaries need, we're just going to go serve. And you guys all did just that, and it was a blessing. Did you want to share something, Richard?
I've been on several mission trips, I think 7 or 8, and one of the things that is always early on, when I was younger and our family didn't have as much money, we were shown how to go out and get our friends and family and so forth to contribute to our missions trip. And when you do that, you have not only helped yourself, but you've made that to the whole community that you're part of,
Yeah.
and you're a witness to them for taking the time out to do that. So
That's good.
So I know that we've talked about how much impact we can have when we go on a trip like this. That Ken, your analogy was spot on. You touch one person and they touch another person, and so many people came and asked, how can we sign up for this? How can somebody come bless us? So we definitely affected those people, but they affected us much more.
I agree.
Amen.
Hi, I'm Barb. I just wanted to say this was my first missions trip, and like Teresa, I probably should have done it sooner. But I think what's really important is step out in your faith. Yeah. And what I think we've observed from all of us, we bless this family, that community, but we also were blessed and enriched in many, many ways. Yeah. So I think it's just wonderful if you can step out and trust the Lord in it.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. That's our team. If we can give you guys a round of applause for just stepping out. I was blessed beyond words of just the amazing team that you guys are and were and will continue to be, because that leads to next year. Go to bethel.org/missions, and you can already sign up for the interest group to keep up to date with all things missions trips for Baja next year, summer 2023. If you haven't gone to a missions trip, this would be a great way to start, or a great place to start. Bethel.org/missions. Sign up, and we'll keep you posted. So thank you for tuning in, and have a great week. Bye.